welcome. We're going to start off with a song like we always do. We're going to say, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant health. My radiant health. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. My opulent wealth. My opulent wealth. One more time. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Good morning, Unity. Thank you, Gretchen, Peter, Bill, and Sarah for starting us off. Good morning, Unity. My name is Kathy Mathis. It is my pleasure to officially welcome each and every one of you here today. As we always say in Unity, we are each here by divine appointment, so thank you for joining us. In Unity, we bless and embrace people of every lifestyle, culture, and creed. We honor and celebrate the many paths to God, many names for God, the many ways to experience God. We come together each week to celebrate that for ourselves and to celebrate it with each other. And we just love to recognize all the ways that Spirit shows up in our lives as love and truth and joy. So thank you for joining us today. As we get started, a reminder to put your electronic devices into meditation mode or miracle mode if you prefer. As we start our services, we always join with our brothers and sisters around the world in our daily word. And today's word is letting go. I let go and let God. I am empowered when I speak or meditate on a God-centered truth and then rely on the omnipresence of God to work through me. I am united in spirit, mind, and body to achieve or overcome whatever I face. I feel tension flowing from me as I acknowledge that Spirit is within me and everywhere present around me. I move from feeling stressed to embracing a sense of calm. Now I can think clearly. Turning within brought an awareness that in any situation, I am not alone. I let go of the struggle. I not only know what to do, I also claim what is mine to do. I breathe deeply and relax into the realization that an entire plan may not be revealed to me all at once. Life is a process, and I am progressing day by day. From Psalm 145:18, the Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. So, I love the Daily Words, and if you would like your own copy of the Daily Word, you can get it from Michael over at the information desk in the gallery after the service. It is also available in large print if anyone would like that. So, I bring greetings and love to you this morning from Reverend Heidi, who is off today, and she will be back with us on February 5th. But in her absence, we are very blessed to have our friend and a powerful spiritual leader, Reverend Tom Wendt.
Hi, everyone.
And we are very excited to welcome Reverend Wendt. For 14 years, he served as a spiritual leader of what was once called Unity Church of Crystal Lake, more recently Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock. He retired from ministry in January of 2016 to pursue full-time life coaching and inspirational speaking with a focus on personal growth and development. Since then, he has helped scores of individuals make important life decisions, live the lives of their dreams, as well as guiding and coaching individuals in making prosperous business decisions. So we look forward to hearing from Reverend Wen in a little bit. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Okay, and of course, another tradition here at Unity is our Christ candle. So let me light that. And of course, this candle, the light of this candle symbolizes the unity spirit that unites us all. And now, let's welcome today's vocalist, Bruce Henry.
It's good to be back. Hi, everybody. All right, man. God's got a blessing for everybody here. We need you to sing along with us. Come on. Well. Come on, y'all. Makes no difference what you're going through. You're gonna make it. God's gonna see you through. Hold your head up, put a smile upon your face, and let me tell you that trouble won't last always. So get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. Get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. I know you've been hurting deep down inside. Let me encourage you that it's gonna be all right. Troubles and trials, they just come to make you strong. Keep on believing, keep on holding on. So get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. Get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. Bring it down, y'all. I love this song because it's so simple. It just talks about being ready and letting go and letting God. Getting ready and letting go. Come on, y'all. I sing, you sing. Here we go. God's got a blessing. 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 God's got a blessing with your name on it. I said, God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing with my name on it. With your name on it. With your name on it. With your name on it. With my name on it. With our name on it. With our name on it. With my name on it. My name on it. Woo! Woo! Oh yeah. Get the sunshine flowing up in here tonight. Let's do that one more time. God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
Woo! God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing. God's got a
God's got a blessing.
blessing
God's got a
with my name on it.
name on
I
it.
said, God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
God's got a blessing.
With my name on it. With your name on it. With your name on it. With our name on it. With our name on it. With your name on it. With our name on it. With our name on it. With our name on it. Woo! Come on, y'all, just groove.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
All right. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Gretchen, Peter, Bill, and Sarah. Thank you. As I was talking to Reverend Went before this service, I said, have you heard our music? He said, oh, yeah. You guys have the best music of any Unity church I've been to. And I think we can all appreciate that and all celebrate that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Awesome. And now, speaking of a great experience at a Unity church, let us welcome Reverend Tom Went.
Thank you, sweetie. Oh, what a wonderful group. What a great morning today. You know, let those people in the Caribbean eat their hearts out. We're having some good music. We're having some weather, some great music. What more could you want? I'm understanding that our affirmation for today is abundance is a reality in my life and the world around me right now. I am surrounded by and immersed in God's lavish abundance. I see it everywhere I look. I'm seeing it right now. I really am. I feel so blessed to be here. And the energy here is just dynamic. Today I'm going to be talking about the power of our personal belief systems. Our beliefs create our lives and our life experience every minute of the day. Whatever your beliefs are created your morning this morning. They created the conversations you were having with other people in the ministry and maybe before you arrived. David Owen Ritz in chapter 3 of The Keys of the Kingdom states, we all have a personal belief system, a set of deeply held convictions that color our perception of reality. Whether we're aware of it or not, he says, we all operate on certain basic assumptions about ourselves and the nature of life. My experience is we all have an idea about how it works. And the Keys to the Kingdom class that's ongoing, they're in the process this week of creating their vision of personal abundance, and our personal belief system will play an essential part in creating that vision. It does for all of us, all the time. The affirmation I alluded to, pardon me, how many meanings does that affirmation have? How many people are in this room? Because you each have your own interpretation of what we hear, no doubt about it. In her book, The Art of Memoir, author Mary Carr speaks of the poetry and fiction post-grad classes she facilitates. These are classes that attract the cream of the crop because there's like 12 openings and 800 applicants. What she does on the first day of the class is fake a fight with a colleague. She says the fight is to question their certainty of their memories, and I say the fight shows us how our personal belief system affects what we see. So she gives the excuse right off that, I've got to leave my phone on today because I'm expecting a call about a personal issue that must be resolved. And during her class, her co-conspirator, Chris, calls her several times, and you can hear her part of the conversation. It's about swapping classrooms. About an hour before the class is to conclude, Chris storms into the room. He's claiming, this is the room I'm supposed to be in, and he makes it very clear to everybody present, you should be leaving now. This is my room. We've agreed on it. Chris raises his voice. Mary suggests, well, why don't we step outside and talk about it? He steps forward toward her. She steps back. He's tall. She's short. She tries to diffuse the situation. Chris, we can work this out. He says, Mary, for once, you ought to do what everyone else does around here. Cooperate. He shouts an expletive directly at her, kind of inviting her to procreate on her own, if you know what I mean. Takes a whole bunch of papers and shoves them up in the air, and he stalks out. The students are agog, they break their eye contact with the front of the room and look at each other like, oh man, what just happened here? At this time, she explains the ruse. Awkward laughter ensues. She says, you'd guess, these bright students would be able to recount what they just saw, down to the color of Chris's socks. But only about 1 in 20 does. So she reviews the events with the class, correcting their errors at a chalkboard, and they all agree upon what happened. She even implants some things that are untrue, like talking about the leather bracelet that Chris was wearing that he was fidgeting with, and they all agreed it was there, in fact. A month after the event, when asking students to render the fight on a page, some credited Chris with the phrase, we can work this out, which is what Mary had said. Some recall Mary stating that we can't work this out. Half the class recalled her advancing toward Chris, when in fact she had either stood still or backed up. And here's what's so important. The observing students' innate prejudices and biases shaped how they viewed the things that happened on that day. I think she's talking about us too. I've seen it where 4 people were at a table. I've seen it. And at the end of the table, it was contentious. At the end of the discussion, each set of participants walked away thinking the other had betrayed them. I think it confirms what David Owen Ritz says, is we all have a personal belief system, a set of deeply held convictions that color our perception of reality. Believing is seeing, right? That's what we say in Unity. Believing is seeing. Whether we're aware of it or not, we all cooperate and operate on certain basic assumptions about ourselves and the nature of life. One year when Mary claimed the call was from a doctor's office in her ruse, a girl with a serious illness worried about her, while the others were just angry that she was answering phone calls during the class. One guy figured she and Chris had been sleeping together, and he manufactured an insidious narrative of betrayal based on their body language. A girl who'd been stalked figured Chris was a stalker. Somebody else thought they were both high. each observer's truth was their truth in their experience at that minute. It's happening right now. There's about 130 or 140 different opinions and impressions of me going on right now that have very little to do with me, but have everything to do with you. Our own prejudices and desires shape our reality. They create our experiential truth. And what David Owen Ritz is doing in his lesson for this week is making us aware of our personal belief systems and how they color what we see. A woman sees her child playing with a stethoscope hanging around her neck. Yes, she wants to be a doctor. With that, the child takes the stethoscope, puts it in her ears, puts the mouthpiece up to the hard part up to her mouth and says, "Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?" So I'm guessing the child's truth and the parent's truth were a little different at that moment in time. Every possible outcome already exists in potential for me and for you. But we draw forth from that infinite potential our belief system and our experiences to create our reality. We create our experience by means of our truth, our belief systems, which creates our thoughts, which then creates our actions. We're powerful people, pardon me, and this week I'm understanding that beads will be passed out each week during this course. And today, thank you. Today we have a yellow bead that will be passed out to you at the end, at the conclusion of the service. It's associated with is it the heart chakra? I'm not a chakra guy, I believe that's it. Solar plexus. Okay, same area. Come on, you guys, I'm new. Thank you. Below that? Lower yet? Belly button. Oh, that is lower. Okay, my error. Thank you. And what I found interesting is it says yellow is at the solar plexus where the eye shines from. The eye. Where you feel strength, will, and personal power. The energy of yellow is vibrant, optimistic, and full of energy. It is the color of youth, new beginnings, birth, and rebirth. You know what's fascinating to me? Who here remembers old Westerns? What did the color yellow indicate in an old Western? Why, he's yellow. In fact, it isn't yellow, he was yellow. Or you were yellow-bellied. You were a coward. Talk about different realities, right? Same issue, same color, completely different way of looking at it. So you'll be receiving your yellow bead at the end of the service. But for you, it's going to be a bead of power, reminding you of the power you already have. Author Matthew Maltz was referring to his experience as a plastic surgeon. People who had plastic surgery did not feel much better about themselves very long after surgery, according to Dr. Maltz. He said, if an individual was scarred, no matter how well the surgery went, and no matter how much friends told them, you're really looking good, if they believed themselves to be scarred, that's all they could see. Their reality. If an individual was scarred, they could not see themselves other than scarred. So if I spend my resources on a tummy tuck and a facelift, I may not see myself any differently after the surgery than I did before. Or I'll find other ways to find ways that I am not enough, not good enough, or simply not as acceptable. Because that would be my personal belief system. Because the thoughts inside of me that said you need to be like everyone else, you need to meet everyone else's standards, continue their message of, you're not quite enough, Tom. Maltz's conclusion was, we can never outperform our self-image. So what's your self-image? When you look in the mirror, what do you say to yourself? Do you see infinite possibility and infinite potential ready to manifest at any minute? Or do you see something else? That's our belief system speaking. That's our inner belief system. If you have a sense of poverty, then no matter how much money is in the bank, you're going to be fearful that you don't have enough. Poverty is on your mind. It's in your feeling tone. It has nothing to do with the amount of money you have. I personally am close to people who I know are millionaires, and they are poor. And they are poor. If you think you are unattractive, you will continue to think that no matter how much you spend on changing your appearance. And we're examining all this to support our creating a new, or I should say, renew awareness of what we think and how what we think impacts our day and impacts our life. Margaret Pounders tells a story about three friends in her book, Laws of Love. It's a story about an appearance of a similar disease in each. Sam, Selena, and Juanita. Sam was in his mid-60s at the time of his experience and a man of strong convictions. I'd say like the perfect unity guy. He had self-love to the point that through most of his life he committed to studies and actions of healthy mind, body, and spirit. Selena's story is a story of a house divided. Though she understood spiritual healing, intellectually, her feeling nature had not quite kept pace with what she'd learned. I think I relate to that. I mean, I get it, what I ought to be doing and thinking and wanting to do what I know can be done in my infinite potential, and I'm not quite that enlightened yet. She was on the path, but she had further to travel. Sign me up for that one. Now, Juanita, her thinking and her feeling natures were in complete accord. There was no hope for recovery for her. What she was sensing in the outer and what was she believing in the inner were consistent. No hope. Sam enters the hospitals for tests, and the doctors recommend extensive surgery to a growth that was termed almost certain to be malignant. From the beginning, Sam was less than an ideal patient. He refused to accept doctors' verdict, and he refused to act as someone suffering from a serious malady. He wouldn't stay in bed. He roamed the hospital halls dressed in a business suit, visiting each person on the floor. The nurses would scold him, "Mr. Johnson, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in bed." He'd say, "Oh, I'm not Mr. Johnson. That's my brother. He's somewhere else in the hospital." He just wanted to be out among people. On election day, and this was back in 1968, Sam was given permission to leave the hospital to vote on the condition that he would return. What did Paul Harvey say? You know the rest of the story. Right? He never went back. Though to placate his wife, he did visit his family physician to verify what he knew was already true. The growth that had been clearly evident by manual examination and x-ray had disappeared. Wow. The power of healing. Our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, was a healer. She would be a catalyst for healing in others, such as this. She healed herself, such as this. In 1979, when Pounder's book was written, Sam's perfect health continued, and his doctors offer no convincing explanation. Sam had adopted a belief system and committed to it such that he could call forth his healing nature. I'm going to say now, bypassing such traditional treatment is not for everyone. Okay? No one here is saying, don't see the doc. Right? Sam had been a practitioner of positive living all his life. He saw good in every person and every situation and refused to entertain negative thoughts. I'm not quite there yet either. I was sharing with somebody, I have a bracelet here. It's a 10-day challenge. It says, no blaming, whining, moaning, or complaining. And then you take it off if you've been successfully not done those things after 10 days. This has mold on it. It's been there so long. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I stand before you as a guy who's working on it, believing in it and working on it. And very human. Margaret's friend Selena also discovered a suspicious growth. She prayed and received the assurance that if she would heal her fear, the disharmonious condition would correct itself. So she knew how it worked. And while she believed this, she could not overcome a lifetime of habitual thinking. Just couldn't do it. Selena was a truth student, no doubt, but her feeling nature, her total consciousness, had not yet assimilated all of these ideas. So being a sensible person, she realized, since the condition didn't appear to be improving, it was time to seek God's help through another agency of faith, a physician. Y'all hear that? Give it a try. But if it isn't working, try something else. The growth was successfully removed by surgery. Selena's challenge was healed at the level in which her thinking and feeling natures could agree, with the help of another. Perhaps you might say, well, it's not quite as good as Sam's healing, and maybe in some respect you could say that, and it was where she was in her consciousness. She wanted to heal naturally and could not. She cared enough about herself to seek help, and help she received. So this is all about us. You know, your personal belief system got you out of bed this morning, and because of it, you wound up here. So God bless. And what else does it implore you to do where you're ready to take the next step and trust, as Sam did? A less happy outcome was Juanita's. Though she outwardly accepted the teachings of truth, yeah, I get it. I get this unity stuff. I believe in it. Her 5 sense body and mind couldn't take it in. Just couldn't do it. She wanted to believe she could be healed, but the evidence of her senses told her otherwise. An outline of treatment was proposed, but Juanita was too ill to begin. Each day her condition deteriorated, and ultimately she died within 6 weeks. We all have a personal belief system, a set of deeply held convictions that color our perception of reality. And what we're doing today is making you even more aware of them. So the question is, I think for all of us, certainly for me, do you believe in the you that Spirit created? Or do you believe in the you that your experiences created? In my experience, they're not always the same. And my guess is We probably believe in both. And maybe the one Spirit created at some times in our lives, and putting more emphasis on the one our experiences have created in others. David Owen Ritz in the Keys to the Kingdom provides us with his belief system that there are 7 truths. I think you have them on a insert in your bulletins today. The 7 truths of abundance. Truth number 2 appears to be the genesis of our affirmation for the day. Abundance is here and now, is a here and now reality. He brings up an interesting thought, at least in my mind. He says we are each one of God's here and now abundant possibilities brought into expression. What if we saw each person sitting here today as an expression of abundance and prosperity, creation? I never thought of that. Have you ever thought of your life and you just being an expression of abundance? Truth number 6 is the vision that you hold for yourself is your inner awareness of your naturally abundant self. And when he talks about vision, I suggest to you, he's talking about visions that are so great you don't have a clue how you're going to make it there. But you have a calling. And you don't have to worry about how. That'll come. And yet you each have a divine wisdom and intuition that says, oh man, I really want to do this. Does anybody here ever have those? Oh, I'd really like to do that. Then sometimes the next word is, but. And the killer question is, how am I going to do it? Doesn't matter. The how will come if I move in that direction and welcome the dream. But that takes my inner awareness, my personal belief system, being consistent with the idea of moving toward my vision and welcoming it in my life. The vision you hold for yourself is your inner awareness of your naturally abundant self. Einstein said our intuition is supposed to be the master and our intellect the servant of that master. I think in our culture it works the other way. I think the intellect becomes the master. And sometimes we discount the intuitive. Real truth is expressed through our intuition. Our intuition drives our visions and dreams, but I have to caution you with that idea. Your intuition and your dreams require you to be willing to experience personal greatness. Are you all willing to experience personal greatness? Yes. Cool. Let me ask again, though. Are you all willing to experience personal greatness? Author Mark Nepo says, in effect, the cost of being who you are is that you can't possibly meet everyone's expectations. So there will inevitably be conflict to deal with, the friction of being visible. Y'all comfortable with being visible? Yeah, being visible. Standing up for yourself. Saying, I'm different. I'm me. Are you willing to become the big fish in the small pond? Huh? Wow. Is my mic working? Let me ask again. Are you willing to become the big fish in the small pond? Yes. Are you willing to become the big fish in the big pond? Yes. I'm not always. Because my personal belief system isn't always consistent with what I teach or with what I want to believe, but I'm working on it. I belong to a chamber of commerce, and they'll hold these mixers where everybody in the chamber gathers together. And I have found myself avoiding some of the most influential and I'll say business-wise influential and successful people in the room. Am I the only one here that does that? Okay. See, that's being the big fish in the big pond. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah. My personal belief system, I'm aware of it. And when I'm aware of it and mindful of it, I can direct it where I need to. The best way to predict my future is to create it. And I create it by applying the principles we teach here and the ones we're still working on. Charles Fillmore and Owen David Ritz, and you know, they all remind us that our spiritual truths, our real truths, never change. You know, it never changes that there is only one presence and one power in the universe. It never changes that abundance is my natural state. And yet, because I change, my experience of those things changes. And because I have different moods, my experience of those things changes. And sometimes I have to catch myself, because my personal belief system doesn't always support me in my highest good. So that's where the experience-based me is taking over. I'm thinking that I need to be mindful of the me Spirit created and the me that experience has created, and see how they balance in me. And I think the secret to living the best life, at least for me, is to be aware of how I'm influenced in those ways. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "We are what we think about all day long." You know, ask yourself, what were you talking about before the service started with your friends in the service? What were you talking about? Were you talking about possibility? Were you complaining? Were you talking about, the Women's March was fantastic, or I can't stand this weather, or, you know. There's a story that goes like this. The winds were blowing, the sea was flying high, and the ship was being tossed about. A woman found the captain and said to him, "Sir, are we in serious trouble here?" The captain looks at her and says, "Ma'am, I must tell you the truth. Now would be a good time for all of us to think about God and pray." The woman looks straight at him and says, "Oh my God, has it come to that?" Seems to me prayer as a last resort is a traditional idea. Eric Butterworth used to say, "We put a dear God on the front of our problems and an amen on the back of them and think we've prayed." How about prayer as a first result? How about prayer as the first thing you do before you even have a problem? So that our mind and heart and being is consistent with the me and the I that Spirit created, whatever happens. Fillmore says truth is absolute, it is eternal and never changing. So if I can think from that divine presence, be mindful of it, act from Spirit in all I do, let my life be a prayer of God as focusing on the God power in me, then whatever happens, I won't mind being a big fish in a big pond. I promise you that. I promise you that. I'll see this other individual, another person, another one of God's creations, not somebody who's better than me or higher than me. What's that about? Someone once said, one with God is a majority. Being one with God is a majority. It's all you need. It's all the power you need and that I need. And we direct God power through our thoughts, so we use our thoughts to create our actions, and then our actions manifest to create the best life we can live. So in closing, in unity, we invite each of us to use the power of God and focus our energy and attention on the tremendous potential that resides within us. And then demonstrate that potential. Knowing about it's not enough. We know that. We have to demonstrate it to live in this world, to live in unity, in ways that enrich our lives and the lives of others. Abundance is a reality in my life and the world around me right now. Right now. I'm surrounded by and immersed in God's lavish abundance. I see it everywhere I look. And I know today you will too. It is my absolute pleasure to be here. I look forward to seeing you all at my workshop this afternoon. Blessings to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Tom. We'll go now into our meditation, and to begin our meditation, which Rev Tom will lead us in, we're going to sing, I Am So Blessed, thank you. So if we want to put the words in, there we go, all right. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
So I join you in this time of guided meditation, our time. I invite us all to begin with a great big deep cleansing breath. Adjust your position in your chair so that you feel comfortable and at home, for indeed you are. And allow your body and mind and entire being to simply relax. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I open my heart and my mind to all that I am and all that I've been in this time of reflection. Perhaps we've been mothers or fathers or certainly children, friends. I think of the rich tapestry of God's creations that have blessed my life. I invite us to bring some of those individuals, or perhaps pets, that have done so to our vision right now and welcome them. And tell them, you have blessed me. You have blessed me. Thank you. Thank you. I feel so alive in your presence. And if they are no longer with us, thank you for the legacy of memories you leave behind. I am so blessed. I bring my friends to be with me here right now in the vision of my mind. Friends from childhood, bring them here. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Bob. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Bring your childhood friends in this moment to share it with you. And I am so blessed to have known you. The things we did together. Oh, I am so blessed. And other loved ones that have touched your life. See their faces, hear their laughter, see them smile. Just be with them for a moment in the silence. I am so blessed. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Thanks for coming back. You enrich me. You bring out so much good in me. Thank you. I am so blessed. And as I bring my attention back to this time and this place, I'm holding on to that blessed feeling throughout the day, and I'm holding on to those faces I saw because they bless me endlessly. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Oh, thank you for this privilege of living, the privilege of knowing these wonderful creations of your love. And so it is. Amen.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Into this blessed energy, this energy that is our oneness with God and Spirit, affirming we are so blessed, the abundance of God surrounding us. We invite you to speak the names of all of those that you would like to have held in prayer, knowing the abundance that is God within them manifest as is needed, required, and or desired. We also speak the name of Reverend Tom, Reverend Heidi, our board, our staff, our volunteers. As we recognize the names of all of those that appear on the board behind us, surrounding, unfolding, and releasing each, knowing the blessings and abundance of God manifest in whatever way needed. We know what it is already done. And for answered prayer, we say, thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen. And we are your prayer chaplains this morning. Holly, Diane, Tom, myself, Eva. And we always love to pray with you. We are now available to pray before service and also, as always, after service. So if you desire to come share your joys, your concerns with us and our oneness with each other and with God, we will be in the Fillmore room. And if you prefer somewhere in the sanctuary, we will pray with you wherever you so desire. And also we want to remind you that we now have what we call wellness calls. And there is a clipboard out by the prayer box where it says where you can sign up to receive a wellness call from a chaplain once a month. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for accepting us. Thank you for allowing us to serve and be one with you. Have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you to our chaplains, and special thanks to Reverend Tom Wendt for being with us today. Now is our time for conscious giving, and I'm going to ask Reverend Tom to come and lead us.
So as we take our gift in our hand, let's be mindful of the personal investment we are making in the universe and in ourselves. We're so blessed to be able to share the abundance and prosperity that we are sharing, whatever we feel our present state happens to be. As compared to much of the world, we live like kings and queens. Let us be grateful for that truth. And please join me in our gratitude affirmation. Do you normally say this prior to the accepting of the gifts? Okay, just want to be sure. Divine love, richly flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for the blessings of this day. I am grateful for the blessings on the way.
And we ask God that you use me. Let's sing together. Use me, oh God, I stand for you. Here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think that God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here all abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's all for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. And we're all about as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me, God, all that I must do.
Well, my goodness, talk about prosperity, huh? Talk about abundance. We give thanks for these gifts that go forth to make a positive, divine difference in this world, in our immediate community, in the greater world, in our lives. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to each of God's creation that supports this dream, and we go forth in an upward spiral of unlimited possibility. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Amen.
Okay, one of my favorite parts of the service is getting to recognize our beautiful flowers. And today's flowers are generously donated by Reverend Heidi Alfrey in honor of the Unity in Chicago Board of Trustees. And her note says, "These flowers are given with great love and gratitude for our Board of Trustees." And if you're here, if you will stand, that would be great. It's Jeff Lang, Chris Euro, David Vigiano, Nori Nasedek, Annette Gitt, John Scottthorne, Peter Canella, and Mark Burns. And here's Peter. Thank you all for so graciously dedicating your time, treasure, and talent to Unity in Chicago. The gifts you bring individually and collectively hold the sweet appreciation of our past and the bright vision of our future. The best is yet to be. You all are the wind beneath our wings. The grateful heart, Reverend Heidi. So thank you once again to each of you. And of course, a few aren't here. I know some are in the Caribbean, but anyway. But of course, we'd like to thank Reverend Heidi for her generosity as well. And if you would like to donate flowers for this service, there are some February dates available, and you can stop by the information table to find out how to give. So, first timers, if you are here for the first time, we hope you are enjoying our service. We want to get to know you better, and we have a tiny little gift we'd like to share with you. So if you are here for the first time, if you raise your hand with me so our ushers can find you. Two in the back, terrific. Over here. Awesome. Did we get everybody? And with your flower, you are receiving this card. We invite you to fill that out so we can learn a little bit more about you. If you have any questions for us, please stop by at the base of the sanctuary stairs and ask any questions you might have. And anyone who is just new to Unity, please ask any questions. We want to get to know you. We want each and every one of you to be a vibrant part of our wonderful community here. Okay, let's see. We have several announcements today. A reminder to check our website, www.unitychicago.org, for the latest happenings and our business directory. And you'll also want to like us on Facebook and stay in touch via our weekly e-blasts. If you're not receiving the emails, just leave your address on the sign-up sheet that is at the base of the stairs. So, also, let's see, we have the pet ministry here each Sunday with pets in need of foster or forever homes. And Carol Stiegel has more information. I don't think she's here today. Okay, but there are people from the pet ministry. If you would like more information, please stop by. Reverend Tom has a workshop this afternoon, Postpone Procrastination Now. I love that name. And he will be here this afternoon at 1:15 downstairs in the library. It's just a $15 suggested love offering to get the tools you need to make this year a success. So please stop by and join Reverend Tom and a group of our community. Linda Tinson's Trim Life Weight Management Program starts today in the Oak Room at 1 p.m. This is a 6-week course that will teach you to use the power of your mind to release the weight that no longer serves you. So please join that. There is still time to say yes to the adventure of the Danube River Cruise. They set sail in September, and you can save $300 on your cabin if you make your $400 per person deposit by January 31st, and you can sign up for that at the info desk after the service. Next Sunday, the Many Paths, One Source 2017 series begins, and that's going to start at 12:30 in the library. And there is an insert in your bulletin this week, or you can also contact Joe Zefran for more information. And like I said, that starts next Sunday, so join that. We have some of our fabulous Unity tote bags still available. You can get yours at the information desk. They are $7 each, or 2 for $10. They are great for taking to the grocery store or whatever you need to carry. So please do that. We have our first silent meditation day for 2017 coming up next Saturday, February 4th. It's a week from Saturday, with Reverend Heidi from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you've only got time for a half-day session, you can come or go at 1:30. Please bring your lunch and wear comfortable clothes. And if you want to manifest your dreams, you need to start by visualizing those. And Reverend Heidi is having a vision board play shop on Saturday, February 11th from 1 to 3 p.m. Bring some magazines to cut up, and let's bring that vision to life. And now, let us welcome back Bruce Henry.
Let's go to the Caribbean, man and woman. Oh yeah, come on. Joshi, Joshi. Come on, y'all. Joshi, Joshi. We are here, we stand as one, as far as the eye can see. Lift your voices up to the sky, rejoice in our victory. Oh, it's a party, it's a freedom party. Raise your victory sign. It's a party, it's a celebration. The time for victory is now. Come on, say, Ajodan Ajoshe, Ajodan Ajoshe. Oh yeah, Ajodan Ajoshe, Ajodan Ajoshe. We claim this land in the name of love for generations and generations to come. We want no more hatred, no more fear, peace for everyone. Oh, it's a party, it's a freedom party. Raise your victory sign. It's a party, it's a celebration. The time for victory is now, 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 now. It's a party, it's a freedom party. Raise your victory sign. It's a party, it's a celebration. The time for victory is now. Oh, Ajodan Ajoshe, Ajodan Ajoshe. Ajodan Ajoshe, Ajodan Ajoshe. Come on, man. one for Peter. Come on, man. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Give the drummer some. Give the drummer some. Give the drummer some. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Put your hands together for Sarah, y'all. Come on, yeah.